Over 30 Indian migrant workers have been injured and are presently hospitalized. The Indian ambassador paid a visit to them and assured them all possible help. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also expressed his anguish over this incident. Prime Minister of Kuwait has alleged major lapses and irregularities in the building that caught fire. According to the information, the building housed far more tenants than its actual capability or capacity, and the workers were subjected to atrocious living conditions. I'm being joined at this point by my colleague. I'm being joined by Mr. Sunoj, who represents Indians in Kuwait. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunoj, for joining us. Extremely worrying information coming in from Kuwait at this point. 40 Indians, at least 40 Indians seem to have died in this incident where there was a fire reported in a building. What can you share with us? Do you have details of who are these Indians, what profile, anything that you can share with us at this point?
Well, it's an unfortunate incident. This incident happened today morning, early morning, around 4:30. And it's a labor accommodation, like all the workers are staying there. Almost around 200 workers are staying in that building. And the fire started from the ground floor. And as per latest report, around 41 people are dead. And that majority of them are Indians. Few other Asian experts like Pakistani and Filipinos are also there. But majority of them are Indian and majority are from South India. This is what happened today morning.
Mr. Sunoj, there are also a lot of concerns emerging at this point about the lapses that seem to be reporting. Do we know who owned this building? What kind of lapses are we looking at?
Well, it's an accommodation for a company. The company is also owned by an Indian. And they're staffing there, all their staff, they're accommodating in that building. It's a rented building.
Is it correct, Mr. Sunoj? Would you know that this was a building that had far more people living than what the capacity would be? I mean, that's also reflective of the conditions in which migrant workers do work. But is this true?
Well, in that building, almost, according to report, 196 people were staying in that building. And one thing caused the severe injuries is that exit plan. Like when the started from the ground floor, they were unable to, those who are living in the upper floors, they were unable to escape. And many people suffered injuries while trying to jump from the building. And the exit also was all blocked. This caused the more injuries.
Mr. Sunoj, would you be able to share any more details about these people? You're mentioning that around 40 people, Indians, have been killed in this particular incident, have died in this incident. Do we know of the numbers that have been hospitalized? How are they?
Yes, almost 35 people are admitted in the hospital. Many of them are suffered due to the smoke, inhaling the smoke. And some of them are normal injuries. They will be discharged today or tomorrow. But some are in critical condition.
Mr. Sunoj, would you have a breakdown of likely from where in India are they? You mentioned south of India, but do we know majority of them from which states? Likely from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh is what we are hearing. But have officials said anything about this?
Well, I don't have the exact number, and the official figure is still yet to come. But the majority are from Kerala. Just the company, majority of the workers are from Kerala.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunoj, for joining us and giving us those details. Have the company owners where these people were working, and you're saying this building is also owned by them, so have they responded in Kuwait? Has any message been released by them?
Well, today the Minister of Interior was there in the site today morning. And he instructed to detain the company owner and the building owner for further questioning until the investigation is over.
All right. And have they been detained, or is that still to happen?
Well, that information is still not clear.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sunoj, for joining us. Extremely worrying information coming. Sunoj of Indians in Kuwait joined us with whatever details he could give, whatever was available. Thank you, Mr. Sunoj, for joining us. That's the report that we have got from Kuwait, even as 40 Indians have died in this particular fire. My colleague Rishabh joins us at this point. Rishabh, we just had Mr. Sunoj right now from the portal Indians in Kuwait. He's also given us some information. This is a building that was owned by an Indian businessman, for that matter. The migrant workers were working for them. We don't have a clear breakdown of which all states were these Indian migrant workers from, but hugely worrying and concerning reports emerging at this point. Mr. Sunoj also confirming that the Indian officials, or not the Indian officials, but the Indian businessman, the building owner as well as the company owner, is what Mr. Sunoj may be detained. Do we have any information on this?
As of now, what we know that most of these Indians belong to the southern state, and the government of Kuwait, the Interior Security Minister of Kuwait, has announced publicly that the authorities have been told to arrest the owner of the building. Remember, this was a sort of labor camp where, as Sunoj was also mentioning, 196 migrant laborers were there, and there were a lot of violations in the building. As we have been discussing, that how the exit was not wide enough for all of these 196 odd laborers who were inside to run out. Also, this happened in the wee hours of Wednesday, which means that most of them were actually asleep when the fire happened. They all woke up with the smoke once the fire was already ablaze, and that led to the maximum casualty. As of now, officially the names have not been released, and we'll have to wait for that, given that while we were talking to the embassy officials in Kuwait and Kuwait City, the Indian embassy in Kuwait City, we were told that first, once the identities of these 40 odd Indians are confirmed, families would be informed first, and then only the list would be given to anyone else. So we'll have to wait for that, and rightly so. That is a very personal issue, and embassy believe that the family should be communicated in the most honorable manner instead of via television set or radio sets, and that is what the embassy believe, and that's and we'll be waiting for further details to come in.
No, that's very understandable, Rishabh. Thank you for joining us with those details. But huge concerns being raised yet again of the conditions in which Indian migrants go abroad, work hard, and live. Questions being raised in the circumstances in which they were living. We're being told that people who were living in this building were far beyond what the capacity was. But this is the information that has been shared by Indians in Kuwait. We're waiting for official confirmation on this. Worrying information, 40 Indians have died. There also, my colleague also mentioned 41. We'll have to wait and see whether that's confirmed as well, but extremely worrying.